This world is out of balance. Spirits grow restless.
I am reborn again and again. I am the will of the Emperor. I am Death's hand.
Hello everyone, you may call me Twilight Dusk, and this is Jade Empire. This was the next game that BioWare had made after the quite well-known Knights of the Old Republic. It's a game that I myself had overlooked until fairly recently, which is quite a crime because it is a very good game indeed. So why don't we go ahead and jump into it. There's a number of preset characters you can play as. I'm going to go ahead and pick this appearance, being a girl, because why the hell not? And I'm just going to customize it a bit. I have a few points to spend to focus on either health, magic power, or focus. All of which will be explained fairly quickly as we get into the game, I suppose. Then you also get to pick which of these 4 basic fighting styles you want to go with. I'm going to go with Leaping Tiger because I like it the best. And with that, we're going to be thrown right into the game. Well, after we name our character, of course. I'll just stay with the default. Your name really doesn't come up all that often, so I don't really care what my character is named. Peaceful looking place. Hey look, there we are.
I swear, one of these days I'll find a way around your guard. For all that, he's trained you to be the best of us. You're not Master Lee yet.
I suppose this Master Lee is somebody who's important.
Let's say one more before we break for the day.
That sounds like a tutorial fight if I've ever seen one.
Let us begin.
And quite tutorial-y this will be. That right there is something that I will explain in due time, do not you worry. Now, I'm clicking a bunch to attack. And now I'm going to defend. Have a glowy shield of energy in front of me. Not that shields are invincible, though. This is our first use for that magic power stuff. We can use it to heal ourselves fairly easily. Now it's our turn to break a shield. As far as when strong attacks do come, you want to dodge out of the way rather than block. There we go. And now it's time to just fight, I believe. Watch me immediately get hit because I'm not taking this too seriously. There is one last thing you can do in combat, though, which is to use your focus to go into sort of a slow motion thing. Everything else is moving in slow motion, you're still moving at full speed. You can't hold that, you can't keep that up for too long, but it gives you quite the edge in a fight. And obviously, as you can upgrade your focus, you can do it longer and longer.
He may not show it, but he clearly takes pride in watching his students practice.
Apparently we were being watched by our elusive master.
Proving that loss sometimes is the best teacher. Thank the heavens the bruises are worth it.
That is a very optimistic view you have there.
You are gracious as always. I regret that there won't be much time for such practice now that you've almost finished your training.
That doesn't sound like exposition at all.
Master Lee told me to pass on that you should speak to him when you have the chance. He said you could take your time, so you need not rush.
And, okay, I will not rush at all then.
Master Lee just went into his house. It's just over there, as always.
Yeah, you think it
You have
would
some
make
time to
sense
wander
that
the
I would
school and
know
talk
where
with
my
other
master
students.
is.
Smiling Mountain likely has some of the younger students available if you want to spar. I shall leave you to it. Take care, my friend.
And with that, we enter Chapter 1, and we're free to move about a bit. So one thing that I should probably establish for anybody who's played Jade Empire and wasn't quite sure about a few things you saw just there, I'm actually playing this game with a fairly well-known mod for it called Jade Empire in Style. It alters how combat works somewhat, particularly learning and training your combat styles, as well as it adds a little bit of a cheating mechanic if you want to take advantage to it, which you're about to be introduced to right here. Because this monkey's going to talk to me. And we're treated to quite the view of those two staff fighting. There's the monkey. Ha ha ha. Yeah, given that this is the in-game mechanic to access a cheating engine, the guy who made the mod saw no reason to stay in character with it. So there's a few options you have within the mod just for some things to do. I'm actually going to keep most of this on. I'm going to enable this just to make sure it's not going to be an issue later on. It's a glitch that happens sometimes where your way gets blocked by some NPCs that were supposed to go into combat mode. So having that enabled is just going to make sure that those won't bother us later on. With all of that taken care of, though, why don't we go ahead and wander around and look at things, like this scroll talking about harmonic combinations, which are a combat technique that we will be able to use once we're in like proper combat, not just training matches. Most of these book stands don't have directly useful information, but it's usually pretty interesting if you want to take the time to take a look at all of them. And as far as people who don't care about the books, you get experience and some other rewards for looking around at them. So it's usually worth it.
Typical.
He seems annoyed. Here, we're going to get some stuff. This is mostly just to give us a little bit of a quicker start. There had been something else in the chest, but it's an item that was made useless due to the way that the mod changed things. It's one of the things that we'll get to later on, I'm sure. Let's go ahead and spar with someone, though. Maybe one of those two people staff fighting would be happy to oblige.
Our most senior student has a spare moment to spend with me? An honor.
Such sarcasm.
No, wait, I shouldn't be like that. Master Lee always reminds me that jealousy is a low path and not worthy of one of his students.
This Master Lee seems like a wise man, but his students seem like they could use some work.
I wonder who will replace you as our example. It certainly won't be me. I can't even imagine Master Lee saying, "You must strive to be like Lin in all things" to the others.
Well, at least she doesn't have
Just
a
the
boastful
opposite,
view of
more
herself.
likely. That's easy enough for you to say. You're already the best in the school. The rest of us just stare at your back. Maybe I should spend more time training, and less time worrying about where I stand in the school. How else will I be good enough to take you down one of these days? Besides, there might be bigger things to worry about. I find myself
Ghost
intrigued by the
tales,
ghost
huh?
tales that everyone's mentioning.
Let us hear about these ghost tales.
Other than what Dawnstar senses, all I have is stories, but they're becoming more and more common.
That's a bit
Tales of
disconcerting.
people being haunted by loved ones, and mad ghosts attacking people on the roads, or even in their homes. And Master Li accepts Dawnstar's ability to see and sense things others can't. If he believes her, then how could I believe otherwise?
Well, those sound quite interesting. I'm certain that we will not run into any later on. Let's head to sparring.
I have to keep practicing if I'm going to be able to best you one day, aren't I? Excellent! Let's see if we can use Smiling Mountain's sparring ground. Once we're done, I'll wander back here if you need me again.
I love how we have this little arena in the center here, but we have to go over to this other spot to spar.
Leaping Tiger!
Right, so, as I mentioned, I'm using a mod called Jade Empire in Style. One of the big things this mod adds is the ability to learn fighting styles from your opponents, if you're good enough to beat them without getting hit. So, let's go ahead and give it a try, and I already failed. So, let's just go ahead and finish this fight, and then I'll try again. Evidently, I need to get back into the groove of things. Once I land a good hit, I'm pretty much set for the rest of the fight. It's just a matter of getting that first hit. I also kind of don't want to cheat and just resort to using foots, because that would be boring for you to watch. And I accidentally set myself on fire because of one of those barrels there. I am just doing dreadfully, aren't I?
Your technique.
Sorry, I'm just trying to focus myself just so that I don't completely die right here. Let's say we try that again in a moment.
Heavenly Wave.
Let's give this a try.
Leaping Tiger.
Slower motions with that little support style there, and then we can close in more easily.
Heavenly Wave. Leaping Tiger.
Yeah, that's the strategy I should be using rather than just going in claws blazing.
Heavenly Wave. Leaping Tiger. Heavenly Wave. Die with honor. Leaping Tiger. Heavenly
Still
Wave.
need just a little bit more though.
Leaping Tiger.
There we go. So since I completed the fight without taking damage, I earned some style points, and I have the opportunity to learn the style if I had enough money, which I don't right now. This is your primary way of learning the various styles in the game when you're using this mod. Previously, you would have to learn them through special events, or occasionally be able to buy one or two from a merchant. This system makes combat a lot more rewarding if you do well in it, though as you saw in my first attempt there, if you completely fail at doing the combat well, you don't get rewarded very much, do ya? So I don't have enough money, so I'm just going to exit out of this, and then the fight concludes as usual. But I also got a few style points out of that. In the default game, you gain style points whenever you level up. However, in this mod, you gain style points by fighting. So in other words, as you fight, you get better at fighting. So I'm just going to increase damage and speed on my main little combat style there. And why don't we go ahead and take a look around a little bit more before we head in to see Master Li. I believe back here there are two more people sparring. So why don't we interrupt them?
Student. Not too many people come back here this time of day, so we thought we'd take a moment to practice.
Fine by me.
Would you like to join us? We could team up against you and learn from the best.
Alright.
This is
Let's
good
go ahead and
news.
fight them.
We'll try to go easy on you.
Ha ha ha. like you need to go easy on me.
Heavenly Wave.
So, one thing I haven't really talked about too much are that you can do area of effect attacks with pretty much any style you
Leaping
want.
Tiger.
Most combat styles, it's just going to be a knockback,
Heavenly
though
Wave.
for support styles, it's a good way to get the support
Leaping
style's
Tiger.
effect on multiple opponents.
You lack grace.
These students are individually quite a bit weaker than the student we were just fighting, so this shouldn't take too long at all.
Leaping Tiger.
In fact, probably didn't even really need to slow that guy down. But, just like before, we completed the fight without getting hit, so we have a chance to learn some stuff. And this is a style that we can afford, and which was actually added by the mod. It was a style that I believe was in the original game, it was just never accessible to the player. This is sort of an alternative martial combat style. Sort of slowish, heavy attacks to deal a good amount of damage with.
Smiling Mountain's going to be teaching a class soon, and then we have weapons training.
Well, they are going to head off, so we don't get the chance to spar with them anymore for now. What else is there to look around at? Well, if we go down this way, we can eventually find the front of the school, but also a little garden area that has another monkey. And these flashy-looking things. A spirit font, which is an object that will restore your health and chi. And there's also a focus shrine, I think they're called. Focus shrine, yeah, which will restore your focus. And there's this guy in the fence.
The gate is closed for now, and I am tasked with keeping it so. Master Lee has asked that no students leave the school until the morning meditations are concluded.
In other words, we're confined to this area for now. We can ask him some questions, though.
Please do not. This is the first task I have been given, and I don't want to get distracted.
Oh, quit your whining.
I am dedicated to even humbling tasks, but I agree. Guarding the school entrance is more to keep me busy than a necessity, I think.
Once again, we have
Perhaps my
somebody who doesn't
vigilance
have the
will show
highest
Master Lee that I am a
self-esteem.
worthy student. He has delayed my training because of some pressing matter.
I wonder what pressing matter that could be.
What do you mean? Some sort of test? Ask me anything. I am ready to try.
Well, I mean, I was originally thinking I'd try to kick your ass to see how well you could defend yourself, but, sure, I'll ask you some questions.
Wait, I know this. Yes, it's weapon, martial, support, transformation, and magic. Weapon and martial styles are pretty self-explanatory. Support styles allow you to paralyze, slow, or otherwise hamper your foes. Magic styles allow you to use your chi to control the elements, while transformation styles allow you to assume the form of creatures or even demons. I'm only repeating what I have learned in my time here, senior student, but that was one of the first things I memorized.
And quite helpful information indeed for classifying the various abilities you have in the game. How does chi
is our
affect
internal
combat?
magical energy. Is that it? Yes. And we can use our chi to hasten the healing process of superficial wounds. Additionally, chi can be used to strengthen our blows, making the most of each strike. I'm sure that's right. I can't channel my chi like you and Dawnstar yet, but one day.
What he doesn't mention is that chi is also used to perform the magic and transformation types of styles. But hey, he can't know everything.
I mean, yes, thank you, senior student, for the chance to answer your questions. Master Lee was looking to speak with you, wasn't he? After he left me here, he went back to his house in the center of the school, if you're looking for him.
Yeah, we'll get around to him eventually. Still, no reason to stick around here when we need to be heading back. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Enter in through the gate properly this time. And here's this guy who was sounding annoyed before.
Oh, you're finally here to talk to Master Lee, are you? I certainly hope so. The old man is in there meditating, and he won't train me until he talks to you.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Really? You would have dropped everything to make way for me. I don't think so. You're far too important to waste time worrying about my education.
Well, that
Master
is a
Lee
lot of
certainly considers
sarcasm.
your training important enough to shove all others aside, so why shouldn't I bow down to your greatness?
Sarcasm and or resentment.
You don't want my answer to that question. Go talk to one of your sandal-licking friends and let them tell you I'm jealous. I'm sure Wen could stammer out an answer for you, something to make you feel all warm inside and just great about yourself.
Yeah, I get the feeling this
Master
guy
Lee
hates
wants
our
to talk.
guts.
Do me a favor and go talk to him. Then maybe I can actually receive some education at this school.
Well, at least it's a change of pace from everybody feeling sorry about themselves. Oh, in any case, once we walk through these doors, we will be meeting with Master Lee. But that is something I think we will save for next time.